Let's go. You are listening to It Came From the Radio, and we're here with Gina Falke, and she's written two books over the pandemic. She's also working on a Frankenstein screenplay. She just got an agent, and she's here right now, so let's welcome her to the show.
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me.
I'm quite good, but my hairstylist has been out of sorts, so excuse the hair. I have to get a hair straightening. I have to color it. As you see, I've been going gray. Times have been very stressful, but it's all right. I'm all about being natural. I think being natural is really the way to go here. And if you
Yes,
don't accept me at my worst, then you can't have me at my best. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So you wrote two books. We had you on maybe a year or two ago. God, time flies. I don't even know if it's a year or 2 years, but who knows? You're here not now. So just tell our listeners who've been sleeping under a rock what your books are about. What are these books about?
Well, the vampire book is about a very strong and powerful woman. She
Hmm.
is a princess in the beginning of the book and becomes a queen. They battle against people that are trying to take over their kingdom and the treasures, and it's a very fantasy meets vampire methodical book.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And we have a princess, we have a queen. Is there anyone that you used as inspiration? Was it Lindsay Lohan? Was it a Saudi prince? Was it maybe your daughter? Maybe she acts like a princess, or who was your inspiration for these
Well,
queens and
I think
princesses?
it was kind of me
Hmm.
coming out and just being a strong woman and using, basically the 19th century Dracula as a background format and
Hmm.
trying to use some of life's hurdles to be the inspiration for some of the story, the struggles that you
Hmm.
go through and the fighting that happens.
Well, with vampires, they have to ask you before they go into their home. And unfortunately, I'm only about 42. Well, I'll be 42 in September. I've let some people into this home, into my life, where they were like vampires. And I didn't know they were like vampires. I didn't think to do the right screening test. So, has that ever happened to you where you actually invited someone into your life and you found out they were like a vampire?
Well, I haven't met any vampires, but I did get asked if, I wanted to share blood with somebody at a con once, but
Whoa. Did you do it?
no, I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
But, but for me, I think growing up, the black and white movies, the horror of that genre, that decade was by far, and it still is, my
Hmm.
favorite, and that's what my inspiration is.
Hmm. All right. Well, now
Hmm.
I heard you got an agent and they're
Yes.
working on making the vampire book into a movie. Tell us about that. What's that process like?
Yeah, I mean, she hasn't really said too much. She's got it all, under wraps right now until she finalizes everything. But
Hmm.
as far as I know, she has an investor who's looking to do this. And from what I understand, the budget's going to be very big. Um, and we'll see. There's been rumors, using me in the film.
Hmm.
There's been a list of excellent composers that have been given to me, their names, so I know who's going to be making the music. So it's pretty exciting.
Now, as someone, we're going to be shooting two features and two shorts in this house in the next 2 months. So I'm in touch with all types of investors and directors and producers
Hmm.
and not so much agents. I like to kind of stay away from agents. But how do you pick an agent? How do you know you can trust this person?
Um, well, there is a contract. It's
Hmm.
a non-disclosure, it's a 2 year. My lawyer went through it, she's said this lady's great, she's going to
Hmm.
get you places. So
Okay.
there was a lot of background checking to make sure that she was the right fit.
Very important. You definitely
Hmm.
want to do these background checks. You want to get referrals. You want to
Hmm.
get them analyzed by a psychologist. Maybe take them to the dentist. Because if
Yeah,
they're not taking
exactly.
care of their mouth, one thing I'll tell you, if someone's not taking care of their mouth, they might not be taking care of other parts of their life. And then they
Yes,
might not be taking care of your film because how you do anything is how you do everything. So I would
right,
check out the
exactly.
inside of their mouth, check out their back molars if you want to know if you can trust them. No,
Well,
I'm
actually,
serious.
a lot of the people that she's worked with or is working with presently,
Hmm.
they've all reached out to me. They're all
Hmm.
connected to me. I see their works as well. So
Very
she
nice.
definitely is for real, you know. So I'm
Very
pretty
good.
excited to have her.
Oh yeah, listen, I think it's every day, every 4 days, I hear some type of horror story about some actor or some investor or maybe some location, and I'm always looking for how can we prevent it? So that was my question to make sure,
Yeah.
everything's on the up and up. Now, what type of locations are you thinking for this movie?
I'm not sure what they have in mind. I mean,
Mm,
me, I would love to be in,
hmm.
you know, Romania to film it, but I don't know if
Wow.
that's what the budget's going to allow. So we'll see when,
Hmm.
you know, I'll definitely tell you first.
Maybe you can get the Tate brothers. I think Andrew Tate's in Romania.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get Andrew Tate in the movie and maybe he can play a vampire. Honestly, I would say that's a pretty cool move. That's a
Yeah. It's
move.
going to be pretty awesome when it comes out. So,
I'm excited. I love vampire movies. Just love them, love them, love them. I just interviewed Russ Camardo. He's in Night for a Day. But anyway, back to you now. All right, so we got the vampires, we got the vampire movie, and now you are also working on a Frankenstein screenplay.
yeah.
What's going on with this?
I love the Frankenstein series, Mary Shelley's works. And after The Bride of Frankenstein, I felt that there should be a continuation, right? It was left open in
Hmm.
my mind. And
Hmm.
all of a sudden, something just popped in my head, and I went, "Oh my God, you know, nobody's used this. After all the, you know, the movies that have come out after it, nobody's ever used it." I can't really tell you details deeply about it, but
Hmm.
I'm able to come up with the way that he's created, and he's not created by body parts. So
What?
it's going to be very
Maybe an auto
interesting.
body shop? Transformers?
Well, it's gonna be basically the same time frame. So it's 19th century. So it's gonna be
Wow.
old school.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's gonna be pretty incredible. I think it's
So
gonna blow people's minds because the concept hasn't ever been done.
really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow. I'm looking forward to see this. Now, I have some women in the office, as many people know. I used to be a dentist and I switched to lip injections. I do not do surgeries, but some of my patients, these lip injection ladies, come in looking like Frankenstein. They got, extra cheeks from here and a nose from God knows where. And I don't know, the hair extensions, I don't know where they're from. So it's just a lot of times women are just piecemeal Frankensteins. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
Frankenstein's
exactly.
walking around all day, and I sometimes I'm one of them. I feel like that right now. I got to get fix my hair. This is atrocious. So now, what's the hardest part about writing a Frankenstein screenplay? Any hurdles that you've had, and how
I'm
did you
actually
overcome them?
having like a writer's block at the moment
Oh
because
no.
the 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 concept I'm using is very medical in terms.
Oh.
Um, but it's medical in a way that's never been done before.
Hmm.
So to come up with that, I have to really read a lot of stuff and, you know, see how I can make it work. So
Always
it's
consult
it's
me.
a it's
I'm
a
a doctor. You can always, throw me a text right here. Does this make sense?
yeah,
I talk a lot about nasolabial folds. Maybe you want to put something about that in the film. All right,
yeah.
so some medical terms, but maybe if you make it a fantasy, maybe you could just make up terms.
Right. So that's what I'm fighting with. Like having the realistic medical part make sense enough to be
Mm-hmm.
in, you know, that fantasy, you know, so I could
Mm.
fill in the fantasy, that's not a problem, but the medical stuff I really need to see to make it work perfectly. So it's a little hurdle. I'll
Hmm.
get over it.
So think about things kind of like falling apart, like a Frankenstein's a bunch of pieces. Have you ever had something in your life fall apart and then you had to put it back together again? And how did you
Yeah.
do it?
Yeah. It's you got to focus, you know, it's a
Mm-hmm.
matter of putting things in, you know, a pattern or a list and being able to just, and you know, and that's what I teach my kids too, you know, and they're like, "Mom, I have to do this." I go, write yourself a list and check off the list as you're going through it so you get everything done. And that's how I do it,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at my desk, which you can't see, there's notes hanging all over, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a note here for that, a note here for that. And when I finish it, they all go in the garbage, you know. That's the way it is to keep
And
yourself.
get
Yeah.
that dopamine hit every time you cut someone off the list. You're like, oh yeah, and
Yeah, I
it
got it
does supposedly
done.
does give you that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
I'm big into lists. I've said this before, but one of the reasons I stopped working with one person, no lists. How am I going to co-produce, make a movie, make even a 1 minute short if you don't have lists for things? You need
Yeah,
lists in any type of production, or whether you're producing a novel or a 1 minute stupid short, you need a list.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, list for
And
anything.
it- I'm being asked now by two different people. Zen is going to be doing like a short little 5 minute film thing with me in the spring.
Zen.
Then Jim Haggerty has said that he wants to do a movie with me. So we'll
Wow.
see, you know, what I could be in to try and get more into that movie thing. So
As an actress?
potentially,
So
yeah.
you want to get in as an actress, you're saying.
Well, they're asking me to do it. So if they feel that I can, because I do a lot, me, I do a lot of videos on TikTok and stuff, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they think that I could do something. So we'll see.
What type of roles are you thinking they're gonna make you do or have you do?
The first one's going to be vampire for sure. They're going to have
Mm-hmm.
all dead bodies around, and I'm going to just, be me as a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, I'm not really sure what Jim's got in mind, but he wrote me the other day and he says, I want to use you in a movie. I go, all right, just
Cool.
call me.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
It's always fun. It's always creative. His stuff is always interesting. Would you do nude? Would you do a nude scene? He loves his nude scenes.
I know he does. He asked me to do a video the other day for him. He's like, I want to see you do like an undressing video, but I didn't get down to my bare skin. He's like, I wanted more. And I'm like, no.
I mean, visual arts is part of the.
It's part of it. Yeah.
It can be. It doesn't have to be. And everyone's different, and there's all types of partial nudity and implied nudity. I mean, and there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
you could say
the
both.
vampire stuff is, my husband's like, your boobs, the cleavage, it's always, I go, dude, man, sex sells in vampire, it does. That's
But you
just
know
the way
what?
it is.
I will tell you something. This is from, I'd say, about a handful of different men that I've spoken with this year about this topic, and at least three said it's so much sexier to see a woman covered up and dressed in a classy way and not actually one man went on and on and on how he doesn't want to see cleavage and these women need to put their boobs away, and this person's a director, he's an actor, and I've heard this too from a bunch of men. So
Yeah.
sometimes the sexiest thing is to cover it up, and you can have sexiness in all types of way. It doesn't have to necessarily be boobs. It could be an ankle or a wrist, or it could
Right.
be the curve of your nose or your
Yeah.
cheekbone or how you say a line or the lighting.
Yeah. Well,
So,
we have, my wardrobe. I have a huge wardrobe for vampires. Some is out, some is not, some
hmm
is leg, because I have great legs, so,
hmm
we mix it up. We don't always do the cleavage stuff.
Yeah, there are all types of ways to be sexy. Sometimes you're crawling under a table and hiding from an earthquake, and that's sexy. No, I don't know. That's just that's totally separate from me. All right. So, what else would you like us to know? What's on your mind? I'm gonna throw it out to you for a free for all question. Anything on your mind? Any thoughts of the day right now you'd like to share with listeners or
Well,
viewers?
we are so excited. We've been to the Barnes and Noble in Coral Place 3 times, and we've
hmm
been asked to come back this Halloween again, which is awesome. I always bring people with me. Last year
hmm
we had someone dressed up as Van Helsing. The year
hmm
before we had a bunch of vampires. So they love having us. We've
hmm
now got an offer to do Lake Grove on March 21st, which is going to be awesome. Massapequa was also inquired, and so is Huntington. I'm just waiting to hear from them, but we are definitely getting those set up.
And what can people
Doing
be? What can people see when they go to one of these?
When they go to these, I'm going to be bringing all the vampire books with me, so it's going to
hmm
be the soft and the hardcover.
hmm
Unfortunately, Second Chances is not on their system, so I can't bring that.
Mm.
I've tried, but for some reason, the coding, even though it's coded to be in Barnes and Noble, they refuse to put it in there. I don't know what the holdup is. Um, but anyway, they can meet me. JR usually goes with me. He'll be there. He said to say hi to you, by the way.
Hello. Very fun
And
guy.
my daughter will be with me as well, so
That's
we'll just
great.
be there having conversation, telling people about the book.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from that, I have 7 Comic Cons this year. You remember the day of just having one, so 7
Wow.
is this like,
So you're gonna have
wow,
tables at seven Comic
yeah,
Cons.
7 of
Are
them.
are you gonna have anything different at your table?
My daughter is bringing a bunch of new art pieces,
Oh,
which is
cool.
super cool. I'm bringing the invention with me as a showpiece.
The
That's going to
invention.
be there in case people are interested in knowing more about that.
The
Um,
what is the invention?
oh, I have an invention called the Pop Cup. So it is a little cup. I don't think I have the cup here. Yeah, I do. Here. That's the
Never
Pop
heard of
Cup.
this. What is
So
it?
the ice pop goes in there, and
All
then
right, lift it up, lift it up.
lift what? The ice pop?
Higher so the camera can see it. Can't see it.
Oh,
Oh, there we go. There
there
we
you
go.
go.
All right. So that goes into the cup, and then what happens?
So what happens here is you put an ice pop in here,
Uh-huh.
and my kids, I don't know, if you know anybody with kids, but the dye from the
Not
ice
a
pop,
single soul. Nobody I know has children.
the dye
Not one.
though, the dye from the ice pops doesn't come out of clothes and furniture. It
Okay.
stains for life, right?
All right. All right.
So instead of holding your kid's ice pop while they go off to go to the bathroom or run around or do whatever, you put it in
Right.
the cup, you set the cup down, and it drips into the cup.
Ah, you must
No,
have a lot
no
of
other cup, no other device out there does that. The
you must
problem
have a
is,
lot of experiences with popsicles in your
yeah,
time to make this.
ice creams too. If they have a stick, they could fit right in there.
Maybe
But
like
I
sushi.
need a licensing agreement to make this. This is a prototype.
Okay. Very cool. Interesting.
So,
So any popsicle enthusiasts out there and getting stuff all over your hands, there we
yeah.
go. We have a solution for you. All right. So now I think this might be the last question. Writing takes up a lot of time. Why do it? It's very time consuming. Why are you doing it?
Why? What do I do? What?
Why are you writing? Why are you writing?
Why am
Why
I
why go through
writing?
all the trouble?
Most of what I wrote was done
Mm-hmm.
during COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
what did we
Mm-hmm.
have to do? You know, we were
I had to
locked
do a
down.
lot.
We couldn't do anything really out of the house. We had to stay home, that whole 9 yards of
Yep.
garbage they gave us.
Yep.
So I sat here every night till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and I was typing away.
Right.
It's just now, this vampire book is the first of 5.
Right. That I
All the rest
remember.
of this is pre-written and in the computer waiting.
Wow. Very cool.
So, I mean, it's an incredible series. I'm very excited about its potential,
I'm
and
excited.
I just want sales to get better, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think by
Hmm.
doing events and being out there and talking to people, all the books that I sold last year were ones out of my collection.
Mm-hmm.
None of the books that were online sold last year. You know
Hmm.
why? Because if you buy it online, it's in black and white. All the pictures, all the imagery inside is in black and white. You get it from me,
Mm-hmm.
it's in color.
Hmm.
And I have an
Okay.
embosser now, so I can emboss the page for you and sign it and give you something really awesome.
So final question. There's all different theories, and I ask this question a lot. And different singers will, say I get my songs channeling, and when I stand up, sometimes I'd wake up or I'd have, 3 to 6 in the morning, just ideas come in. Those were my best jokes, like very elaborate premises, and they would kill. It wouldn't be me, oh, I gotta come up with the jokes. The jokes would just come to me. So, where do you get all your ideas from? Where do you think these ideas come from?
Movies.
From movies,
Yeah. I
from
watch a
other
lot.
movies.
I watch a lot of horror movies, a lot of black and white, Svengoolie program.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another movie channel that plays a lot of the old classic stuff. And from just sitting there watching these things, all of a sudden an idea will pop in my head and be like, oh, and
Hmm.
I have a notepad by me, at
Mm-hmm.
all times, because if I get a thought, I got to write that down because I'll forget it. So I write
Mm-hmm.
everything down and I take those notes and then I go, to the computer and I start doing my thing. And I don't know why, I never thought if you had asked me when I was in high school if I would be writing as a living, nobody would believe it, but it
Mm-mm.
It is. It is what's happened. So
What
it's
do you
pretty
think they would
incredible.
say? What do you think they'd say you'd be doing instead of riding?
I don't know. I think they'd be surprised because I wasn't really the author type in high school.
Mm,
I was more the music person or, stuff like that.
it's
But,
interesting where life takes you. You
yeah,
never know.
you
Well,
never
very
know.
cool. I definitely want to see some vampire movie from you. I want to see a Frankenstein screenplay, some audio books to listen to. Is that,
Hmm.
oh, I forgot. Is there any of these vampire books
I
available on audio?
don't think it's on audio. It's on download,
Okay.
but it's not on audio.
We need an audio. We need an
Yeah.
audio book of these. So that's my request. All right,
Well,
so
when
we're
it
at the
gets to
end of
the
the
hot and heavy
interview.
stuff, it may be a bit much, but
What? No way. Nothing's too much. Come on now. Nowadays, where, every third household, there's probably, five people on my blocks that are on OnlyFans right now. Who knows? I don't know. We're in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm sure you'll be just fine putting a fiction book onto audiobook. All right. So at the end of the interview, just let us know where to find you, website, socials.
you could find me at Vampirus Gina on Facebook and Instagram, under my name, Gina Falke, on LinkedIn. And my website is glfcreations.com.
Thank you so much for being a guest on It Came From the Radio. I gotta go get my hair fixed. And on that note, we're gonna throw it back to Mark Torres for more Came From the Radio.